Hi guys, welcome back to another video on Next.js 14 authorization and authentication using another awesome tool called Auth0. Auth0 is quite mature and we can use Auth0 to integrate authentication in multiple technologies. But as you know, in this video, I will be integrating it in Next.js 14. Before this, I've already created videos about authentication and authorization using awesome tools called Clerk, and I've created video on authentication in Next.js using Next.auth, and also I've created a complete authentication authorization video on Kind. This is a new but an awesome tool. So this video is about Auth0. If you go through its details on its landing page, you can see that it is being used by big companies in their applications because it can be integrated in multiple technologies like Angular, Vue, even on the backend technologies as well. So I'm going to show you how we can integrate it in Next.js 14 complete login sign up system along with the reset and forget password. And not just this, I will be showing you how we can protect our routes, how we can protect client components, server components through middlewares as well. And also I'm going to show you how we can protect our API routes that we will be implementing in this Next.js project. So this is going to be an awesome video. So you can see that I'm putting a lot of effort building these videos for you guys. So if you can subscribe my channel and like my video, it will really encourage me to make more videos for you guys. Before starting this, if you want any kind of development services from me, you can contact me on LinkedIn. I've given the link of my LinkedIn profile in the description of this video. So let's get started. First of all, what you need to do is you need to click on the sign up and it will show you different options to sign up with. I've already signed that up, and when you will sign up and complete the sign up process, here is what you will see. And from here, I'm going to show you how we can create a new application and we can proceed from there. So first of all, let's create a new Next.js 14 project. I've opened up VS Code with an empty folder. So let's write this command npx space create next app at latest space dot. I don't want to create a new folder. I'll hit enter and let's go. I'm gonna go with TypeScript, ESLint, Tailwind, source directory no, app router yes, no for default import alias. So it's going to take some time, so let's wait for it. So the project is created. I'll come back to this, but first of all, let's go over here. So if I go and click on the applications and click on this applications, we are going to see this default app. Whenever we sign up, it automatically gets created, but I'm not going to use this default app. Instead, I'm going to create a new application and click on this regular web application. And first of all, I'm going to give it auth next 14. You can name anything. Let's click on regular application, click on next, and now it is showing me all these technologies where we want to integrate Auth0. So I'm going to click on next.js. And first of all, before going to the settings, I'm going to follow these quick start guide. So let's go down. And first of all, I need to go to the settings and configure this callback URL. And I'm going to copy this particular URL. Let's go to the settings. Let's go down and allowed callback URLs. Click on the save. And now let's go back to the quick start. Click on the save changes. And here it is going to show us that we need to add this URL because our Next.js app runs on localhost 3000. We need to add it in configure logout URLs. So click on the settings. Let's go down, allowed logout URLs, click on save. So it's going to save from here. All right, let's go to the quick start guide and keep on clicking save from here. Okay. And now let's go down, and now we need to install this particular package in our project. So let's copy this, come to the project, and I'm going to paste this command and hit enter. So it's going to install this particular package in our Next.js project. So meanwhile it is getting installed. Next, it is asking us to create this .env.local file in our project. So let's create that. So here I'm going to create .env.local, and let's copy all of these environment variables, and by default it is going to pick up this client id, secret, base url, this base url for our Next.js app. Automatically these are correct because we are inside our Next.js project. And for auth0 secret, we can add our own characters over here like a b c d 1 2 3 4, but it's good that we add some complex key over here. So I'm going to copy this command. It is suggesting us that if we are using like Mac, or even it should work on the Linux as well, you can try it on Windows. So I can go to the terminal and I'm going to paste this particular command, and it is going to generate these random key value pairs, this alphanumeric value. So I'm going to paste that over here. So that's it we need to do in this particular file. And also our package have been installed in the terminal. So let's go over here and let's close this terminal as well. So you can go through all of these things, the details, and let's go over here. And now we need to create this particular route. We need to follow the exact name. So first of all, let's create this folder name structure. So inside the app, I'm going to create this new folder, and yes, and inside the auth0 I need to create this route.js file. So let's create that. And since we are using TypeScript, I'm going to replace JS with the TS. So let's create that, and inside it I'm going to copy this 2 lines over here. I will come back to this file to add some more code over here which is not being shown on this guide, but I'll come back to this. Okay, so now this particular route is going to generate these 4 routes automatically for login, logout, callback, and this is the callback which we have added in the settings already, and this is to get the profile for the user. All right, so now in our layout we need to wrap everything, all of the children, with this user provider, so that all of the application, all the components, all the files are known that we are wrapped within the user provider. So all the information of the user when user is logged in, logged out, is available to all the child components. So let's come to this layout.tsx file. Let's import this and let's copy this user provider, and around the body I'm going to wrap this up. All right, and let's go down, and we can add these HTML, and I'm gonna leave it from now. This is something which I'm not going to create in my application. Instead, I'm going to create my own UI and protect the routes which I'm gonna create just now. So first of all, let's go over here and let's try to run the project. All right, and here in page.tsx I'm going to remove everything. By default it's going to show me something which is default to Next.js. So if I hit enter, and I hope that it is not going to throw any error in the terminal as well as over here, so it's mean that our configuration have been successfully added. Now if I manually try to change it to this particular URL that it was showing over here, api/auth/login, and let's see what happens actually here. So this one, api/auth/login, hit enter, and you will see that it is showing this default login UI which is built in auth0. Okay, and we don't need to spend time creating these UIs, this text box, and it is responsive as well. And by default when we create a new application, this continue with Google automatically gets added. I'm going to show you how we can add some more social logins as well, and it has this built-in sign up as well. If I go to the login, it has this built-in forget password as well, and when we try to write some email, it is going to send us an email verification that whether it is us that we are going to change the password or not. Okay, so let's go, and I'm going to delete everything which is inside this page.tsx, and this is where the actual implementation starts, the real application. So first of all, I'm going to add some kind of routes. So first of all, in my page.tsx, I'm going to show you that how we can get the user session if the user is logged in or not. So for that, I'm going to import this, get session from auth0 slash nextjs dash auth0. And since this is the server component, there are different ways to fetch the user session data in the server component and in the client component. So in the server component, we need to use this get session with the await session and session.user. So this user is going to give us the details for the user. So if I simply log the user, okay, so for now I can simply add this UI that is going to print. So await is giving us some error, so I need to add async over here. All right, so let's go over here, let's go to the inspect console log, and it is not going to work because I'm on the server side. So let's see, let's go to the localhost 3000 actually. So let's hit enter and let's go over here and see. You can see that it is giving undefined. The reason is that user is not logged in. All right, so I'll come back to this when I'll have the user logged in, but let's first of all add some more routes so we can see that how the things are working. So first of all, I'm going to add a new folder. Let's say after login I need to go inside the slash profile route. So inside this I can have page.tsx. Okay, and I'll come back. Let's add this profile. Let's add the profile over here. I will keep it server side component, but before this I'm going to add this folder which is going to be the components, and inside these components I'm going to add two more files. So I'm going to render the user data and show you how to render user data in the client and server components both, and both of these data is going to be rendered within the profile route. So that's why these are the child components currently which I am creating over here. So user client means this is going to be a client side component, and I'm going to create a user server means this is going to be a server side component. So for the client side I'm going to RAFCE, this is the extension which I'm using. So let's add profile server. Let's copy this and let's paste it over here. And for the client, first of all, at the top, as you know that in Next.js we need to write use client, and this is the import that we need to add. And for fetching the data on the client side, we can add this use user, and it is going to provide us user details if there is an error and the loading, because on the client side we might need to show some loader before the data is being rendered. This is not required on the server side, because on the server side everything gets rendered first and then returned to the client, so it is so quick. So now let's use this particular is loading and error message, which is going to be, I'm going to use this like it. So if there is a loading, as long as there's a loading, this is going to be shown up, and if there is an error, the error dot message is going to be shown up. Okay, and for the return, what we can do is if there is user, then we are going to render this section. Otherwise we are going to render that user is not logged in, something like this, no user is logged in. And before this we can render some div here. All right, so if there is a user means user is logged in, then we are going to show the picture for the logged in user, username, user email, and there will be more details coming up in this user. And if user is not logged in, we are going to show this no user logged in. And for this component, this is done. I'm going to go to actually I have added this inside a server file actually. Okay, so I'm going to change its name to the client, and I'm going to change its name to the client. So I'm going to just copy everything and paste it inside here. okay, because the name of this file is user client. Now let's come back to the user server, and here we can change the name of it to the server, remove use client because this is the server side component, and rather than fetching it with auth0, we need to have this. Let's remove it. All right, so this is the get session which we can use to get the user data. So I'm going to add the code over here. On the server side, we don't need loading stuff, so let's add it like this. So get session, if user exists, then we are going to proceed over here. Otherwise, we are not going to proceed. We are going to throw an error, or we are just going to show this no user logged in. All right. So here, let's close these files. And in this profile, we are going to render these details. On the profile, we can also add a check that if user is not logged in, we are automatically navigate it to the home route. Home route is a public route which can be accessible when user is logged in or not logged in. Okay, so first of all, at the top, I'm going to import 4 things. So this is the get session because this is the server side component, and this is the user client component, user server component. This is the navigation. This is for the redirection. So on the server side, as I've shown you, that this is how we are going to get the user data. And after this, we can check if user does not exist, then we can use this redirect and navigate to the home route. All right. So after this, I hope that you understand how to write TSX or JSX. So I'm going to render these components, and these are simple classes of the Tailwind just to style it a bit. So this is the heading, and now I'm rendering profile client and the profile server. And these are the name over here, profile server and then the profile client. I think on the server side, I'm not exporting it properly. So this is the server. All right, now this is correct. So let's close it. And one last, before testing this out, let's go to the layout. And in the layout, we need to style it a bit. So for the body, I'm going to add some classes over here like this. All right, so I have centered everything, and this is the width full. And here we can show some kind of navbar as well. So here in the children, I'm going to create a new component. Let's add a components folder. Outside this, actually, I think I'm in the app directory, but I don't want to create components within app directory. So let's move it out. Not here. Let's delete this. Let's close it. And here I'm going to create new components, and inside it, I'm going to create a new component. So this is going to be navbar.tsx. Okay, so this is going to be a simple navbar which is going to show all of the links at the top, which we can click on and navigate it quickly rather than manually changing the URL. So don't worry, we are almost reached to the point where we can test things. So use client, this is the client component here, because I think we need to use the hook, which is the use user from the auth0. Okay, so now I'm going to add these imports. All right, and here inside RAFCE, and this is going to generate this. This is the navbar. So navbar, let's copy and let's add it over here. And inside this navbar, we can use that use user hook from auth0. And inside this div, we can add these routes like this. All right. So before adding some more code inside it, let's go to the layout. And here we can add these navbar above this children. So navbar, yes, like this. And for the children, I want to add some padding around it. All right, so let's go. And here you can see that this is all the routes which are being shown. I've yet to create all of these routes. Currently, I have only created this home route and the server protected route. These protected or protected API are not yet created, but I have created the navbar because I want to create these things because I want to show you how you can protect the routes. So let's go to the navbar, and here inside it, I would like to show some kind of buttons as well. So I'm going to add another div over here. So this is the condition that if there is no user exist and the loading is not happening, then I'm going to show the sign up and the login button. If user is logged in and there is no loading, then I'm simply going to show the logout button. So this login logout, I have yet to create that inside this component. So there are three components which I'm going to add. These are pretty simple. Okay, so let's go into the login. You can see that I'm simply going to remove these classes. Let's go over here and I'm going to remove these classes as well. Let's go over here, remove these classes as well. All right, so these are some routes slash API auth slash sign up. Auth0 get started also giving us these routes. So clicking on this sign up is going to navigate us to this route. Logout is going to simply trigger this logout and this login. We have already added these callbacks that after logout where it should go, what should be the callback URLs in the settings of Auth0. If I show you over here in the settings, I've already added this in front of you. This is the callback URL. This is the logout URL. All right. So now finally, before testing this, I first need to resolve these errors in the navbar. And the reason is showing the errors because I have to import these components. All right. So the error is gone from the terminal, and let's go over here and let's refresh. And you can see that I'm not logged in because it is showing the sign up login. This is the condition I've added. Click on the login and it's going to navigate me to the login page. All right, click on the continue with Google, and from here I'm going to select any of my Gmail account, continue, and I need to allow Auth0 to access the information from my Gmail account. So I'm going to click on accept button. All right, guys, so I'm logged in because you can see that it is showing this logout button. And if I show over here, logout button only shows up if user exists. All right, and if you remember, I'm in this home route, and on the home route I'm actually logging at this thing. Okay, the user is being logged in, and if I hover over it, you can see that all the information of that user is being visible over here, which we can use to show in the UI. Okay, so this is how cool is this Auth0, and we have actually added complete login sign up, forget reset password. You can test it out yourself. I've already tested out. Sign up works, login works, forget reset password also works. So for now, click on log out, and before creating these routes first of all, let's click on this server protected profile. And if I click on it, you can see that I'm not able to navigate to this profile route because in this particular profile route, I've added this condition. If no user exists, then I'm going to redirect it to the home route. And if I log in, I forgot to show you guys, I'm going to click on the continue to Google. All right, so I'm going to select one of my Gmail account, and now if I click on server protected profile, you can see that I'm able to navigate to this particular route, and it is showing the information of the server side component, client side component and the server side component, and there is a different way which I have shown you to fetch the data from that user. All right, so image, name and the email, both of these are working fine. So this is how cool is that. I can navigate to the home route because this is the public route. So for this profile route, I've shown you how we can protect this route from the server side component. I'm going to create this particular route protected, and I'm going to show you that how we can protect this protected route from the middleware file. And then I can show you how we can protect this auth protected route, maybe if there is a client side component, and then we can create an API to actually protect this particular API using the Auth0 authentication. So before doing that, I just want to show you that if user is logging in or signing up, by default where we want user to automatically navigate to, currently it is navigating to the home route automatically, but I want that after user logged in, I want it to auto navigate to the profile route, okay, on both login and sign up. So I can come to this handle auth inside the route.ts file, and here I can write login and I can write handle auth, handle login actually from the auth0. Okay, so at the top you can see it has been added, so handle login, and here I can write return to, and I can write profile over here. So after login it will be navigated to the profile route, and now sign up handle login. So inside it I can write authorization params screen hint sign up. So it is for the sign up, and then I can add a return to profile. Okay, there seems some kind of error, so let's see where I got wrong. So screen hint search authorization params, so this is an object, and I don't think I need this object. All right, so now that is fine and we are good to go. If you want to test that out, let's log out and let's log in quickly. Log in with Google. All right, so you can see that after login, I'm directly navigated to the profile route. Perfect. So now let's get back inside my app directory. I'm going to create another route. So you can say auth protected. So let's create that auth protected. Okay, and now I can create page.tsx file inside it. So now this is going to be the server side component. So Next.js, actually Auth0 also give us an inbuilt way to protect the routes. So for that I can have first of all I need to import next page. Actually let's use import next page from next, and after that we can have import, and this is going to be the get session for getting the user details from the auth0, and then I need to add with page auth required actually, okay, from the auth0 as well. All right, so I think for now that's it we need to add, but here let's use RAFCE, and auth protected is the name of this file, and this is going to be of type next page, P capital. Okay, and after this, rather than writing this, what we need to do is with page auth required, we need to wrap everything that is inside this. So I can add it like this one, and then inside this we can have async Actually, let me add it like this, so that I don't make any mistake. So this is going to be with page auth required, and inside it is going to be this async. All right, and after this, what we can do, we need to add it like this. So make sure you don't make any mistake in terms of the brackets. So this is going to be whenever user is authenticated, then we are automatically navigating it to the auth protected route, which is this one. Okay, uh, so now this is going to be auth protected, and inside it, since this is the server side component, we can simply fetch the data inside the async, and then inside the return we can simply add it like this. So for the user dot name, user dot email, we can add the interface as well. For now I'm giving it any type. Okay, so just to avoid any kind of warning. All right, so I think that is done. So I can go to the middleware. This is, I think, auth protected. Yes, so auth protected is this one. I'm able to navigate it to, and it is giving me these details. For now I'm just logging out, and I'm going to click on this auth protected. Okay, so currently you can see that when I click on auth protected, I'm not logged in, and it is navigating me to the login page automatically. Okay, now if I try to log in, let's click on continue with Google, my email, and now you can see that right after logging in, it is automatically navigated to the auth protected route. This is what I gave it over here. All right, so this is another way to protect our server side component. This is the built-in way of Auth0. Next, let's talk about protecting our routes using a middleware file, which is a file provided by Next.js. So let's create another route. I'm gonna right click in the app directory, and let's give it middleware. This is going to be the route. So inside it, this is going to take the page.tsx. Okay, so this is the protected, I think middleware protected. This is going to take this. So middleware page.tsx, and here we can simply add this code. This is going to be the client side component. We can keep it server side. It's up to us. So you can see that it's simply showing the protected. All right, so first of all, let's go to the navbar, and it is showing protected here. Let me change it to the middleware so we can correctly navigate to the middleware file. So click on the middleware, and now you can see that I'm able to navigate to the middleware protected file, and I'm logged in. And if I click on logout and click on the middleware protected, I'm still navigating to the middleware route. So I need to protect this when I'm logged out, but using the middleware file of the Next.js. All right, so let's close everything, and I'm going to create that file in the root directory middleware.ts. All right, don't put this file in any of the folder. Okay, this is at the root directory. So in the middleware, we can use auth0 edge function like this, import with middleware auth required, and now we can export this with middleware auth required. And after this we can export the configuration. So export const config equals to object, and then the matcher. This is going to take an array. So inside it we can pass it like this. So middleware. So if we don't add this, all the routes gets public automatically. So this contains all the routes which are protected based upon this thing. All right, so that's it. Now let's go, and let's click on the middleware now, and you can see that it is taking us to the login route automatically because we are not logged in. Now let's log in. So I tried login with Google. So now you can see that I'm able to navigate to the middleware. Let's go back to these routes, click on the middleware protected, and now I'm able to navigate to this middleware protected route. Finally, I want to create an API which I want to protect using the Auth0 authentication. So inside the app directory, if you know that how we can create like APIs, REST APIs in Next.js, I've already created a complete video with complete CRUD operation connecting with database with all the adding, editing, deleting, and fetching the data from the REST APIs. You can watch that video, or even you can search that out in my channel, that Next.js 14 building REST APIs, if you want to learn that. So inside it, let's name the API, let's say the data. So if inside the data I want to create it an API, then I need to create this file route.ts, and from here I'm not going to connect with database. This is simple an API that is going to return me the constant. So this is something, the syntax which Next.js provide us to create an API. This is the get request, and inside it, I'm simply returning this data, this JSON key value pair. Okay, so let's save it. And now if I click on protected API, it is simply, so API data is not, let's refresh. Let's click on this API data. Uh, let's see. Actually, I needed to add it inside that API folder. All right, so let's put that inside the API. All right, so now it should work. And let's click on the home, let's click on protected API, and now you can see that I'm able to navigate to this particular route API/data, and it is showing me the same JSON object which I have returned from that API. All right, so now let's try to protect this again. There are multiple ways, but from the middleware, just like I've done this, I can simply add API/data. Now it is going to get protected. Simple is that. And let's go back, let's refresh, and I'm logged out. Yeah, I'm logged in currently. So if I'm logged in, I can navigate to this. If I log out, let's see if I'm able to navigate to that protected route, and you can see that it is showing me this not authenticated, the user does not have active session or is not authenticated. And currently you can see that it is opening up on a new tab because I'm using the target underscore blank, which is an HTML attribute. So we are done with the implementation. I wanted to explain you a few more things, let's go to this Auth0 dashboard. So here, if you want to see all of the applications which are created, so currently Auth Next 14 is the new app which we have just created, and these were the default application. We can go to the Auth 14 and we can change its settings. We can change the credentials, add some add-ons if we want to add. We can add the connections over here. So currently you can see that it is showing this Google OAuth connection. We can add some organizations as well for the business users. You can check these out if you want to, and we can change the logo as well, which was showing up on the login page, and we can integrate the APIs for the Auth0 if you have some custom designs, the UI, that you can use this API to integrate that. Let's go to the authentication. This is the database currently which we have here, but we can add our own custom database connection if we want to. We can go to the social, and currently you will see that the Google OAuth is added, but if I click on the create connection, I can enable further login social connections as well. There are a lot of social connections over here. This is awesome. And enterprise, we can configure this. And one more thing, that Auth0 provide proper user management system. So this is the user which I'm logging in. This is the total number of logged in. And if I click on this, this user will have all the details in front of me. So this is for admin user who wants to see who is logging to my application and who is not logging in. So these are all the things. We can update its metadata as well. The updating metadata means that when we fetch the data in our server or client component, these new properties are going to be fetched as well along with this. In case we want to add that, we want to append some new properties, we can add over here as well. All right, so this thing is very important. Devices, which device I've used to log in, maybe I need to refresh that. This is the history details. And also I can add some design system as well, change the colors, layout, company logo, and all these things, customization options. I can customize it as I want based upon the borders, widgets, and all these things. This is going to be quite awesome. All right, so we can have the security actions, monitoring, marketplace extensions. We can configure extension along with Auth0 for the real-time updates, for the like account linking and custom social connections for that. And I can have all the settings for my app, for my Auth0 account as well. So that's it, guys. I hope that you have learned something new, and if you have learned something new, do subscribe my channel. I'm gonna create more videos on Next.js 14 in upcoming days. So that's it. Do like my video as well. Comment below if you have any question. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you in the next video.